Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Asmadgurubhyo Namaha श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। ओम पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्धदामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्कपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Namaste once again, everyone.
Namaste, Guruji.
Harium Guruji.
Namaste.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste. So, before last week, last class, we completed the 6th chapter. Before going ahead, as I told toward the end of the last class, there was a question from one of the students, I think it was Girish Ji, in the Satsanga, who asked, what is the role of praying for others? I remember that I spoke about this topic long back, maybe 3 years back, I don't remember. But there is a larger question. Are prayers useful? Are they effective? Many people have such doubts, especially when they seem to be praying and what they are praying for doesn't seem to materialize. So what I will do, I will take this opportunity to talk about prayers in general, so that we have a good understanding about the role of role and power of prayers. And then also talk about the specific question raised by Girish Ji. And then we will proceed to the 7th chapter of the Gita. Okay. So what is a prayer? The dictionary definition of a prayer is an earnest request or a wish. And that is what a prayer is. It has both Laukika and Vaidika or religious connotations. In Laukika terms, a prayer is when you approach a higher authority which is endowed with certain higher powers like the executive, the judiciary, etc., with an application for grant of something that you earnestly request or wish. That's called a plea or a prayer. In fact, in If you look at the applications or pleas made in courts, it is called prayer only. And the same process applies in the context of religion, where God is considered as the higher power and we pray for our request or wish to be granted. And this is not restricted only to our Sanatana Dharma or Hindu religion. No? It applies to all religions uniformly. Because all human beings are, in the end analysis, driven by the same four Purusharthas. But of course, I don't know much about other religions. But from the standpoint of our religion, we can understand prayers from two perspectives as revealed in the Vedas. One is when we pray for ourselves. That is, the tangible benefit of the prayers goes to us. Second is when we pray for others. That is, the tangible benefit goes to others for whom we pray. And the first type, that is when we pray for ourselves, we call it Kamya Karma and Prayaschitta Karma, which is what is talked about in the Veda Purva Bhaga. Kamya Karmas help us to reach our three Purusharthas, Artha, Kama and Dharma, the goals of security, pleasure and desire, and charity or reaching out goals. And this includes prayer for good health, for money, for progeny, for a good life in general. The list is endless. And that is why when we do the Sankalpa before doing any puja, we offer an omnibus prayer, which includes all possible requests or wishes one can have. For example, every year during Dashara, we do the Saraswati Puja, one of the very important pujas for religious people. Because Saraswati is the goddess of knowledge. So we do a puja. And the Sankalpam runs like this. And of course, it will be the same for any other puja also, except the name of the Devata will be changed. What is the Sankalpam? Even though it is little long, I will read it out. Mama Janmabhyasat Janma Pravriti Etakshana Paryantam Madhye Sambhavitanam Sarvesham Papanam Sadyah Apanodanartam Asmakam Sahakudumbanam Kshemasthirya Virya Vijaya Ayurarogya Aishwaryanam Abhivruddhyartham Dharma Artha Kama Moksha Chadurvida Phala Purushartha Siddhyartham Ishta Devata, Kula Devata, Grama Devata, Griha Devata, Sakala Devata, Prasada Siddhyartham Uchita Kale Ayushmata Swarupa Sugunaneka Suputra Avapyartham Dirga Saumangalya Avapyartham Aroga Dridagatrata Siddhyartham Sarvarishta Shantyartham Sarvanukulata Siddhyartham Sarva Manorata Avapyartham Ehika Mushmik Sreyo Bihi Abhivriddhyartham Sri Durga Lakshmi Saraswati Padara Vindayoho Achanchala Nishkapata Bhakti Siddhyartham Sri Durga Lakshmi Saraswati Prasadena Satsantana Samudhyartham Samasta Mangalam Avapyartham Samasta Duritopashamanartham Jnana Vairagya Siddhyartham Varshe Varshe Pratayuktam Sri Saraswati Devata Muddishya Saraswati Devata Prityartham Kalpokta Prakarena Yavat Shakti Dhyana Avahanadi Shodashopacharaihi Sri Saraswati Devata Pujam Karishye. You will run out of breath by chanting this. But then you see, it is an omnibus prayer. Why I am doing this puja? To get all these things. Dharma, Artha, Kama, even moksha is included in that. So the kamya karma is what this is. We ask for everything. Your prayer includes all possibilities, desires, wishes in life. And you are saying that you are doing this puja so that you are blessed with all these things in life. Now, the fact of the matter is that irrespective of what you ask, what you pray for, you will get what you deserve and not what you desire. And what you deserve is determined by your karma phala, the balance of punya papa in your karma account. And if that is so, question arises, what is the use of praying for all these things? Isn't it? Am I wasting my time? Valid question. But if we have some understanding of the law of karma, we can ourselves answer this question. One thing we must note, the punya karmas, the good karmas, and the karma phalas never trouble us. But they give us pleasure, joy. We welcome the karma phala of good karmas. What bothers us always is the karma phala of papa karmas of the past, which can act as obstacles in reaching our goal, both materialistic, religious, and spiritual. Now, one may ask, does it mean that one has to necessarily live through the karma phala of papa karmas of the past and can do nothing about it? The answer is yes and no. Yes, because the fructifying papa karmas present us with adverse situations, and if we do nothing about it, they will have a free run. And Bhagavan has given human being a free will to enable us to do something about it, so that the effects of the karma are mitigated, if not completely removed. Therefore, the answer is no if we use our free will and do something about the situations we are presented with. Now, we know that the Sanchita Karma bundle, rather out of the Sanchita Karma bundle, a certain portion becomes mature for experience and they become the Prarabdha Karma of this Janma. And again, all these karmas are not uniform in their effect. The degree of severity of these karmas and consequently the karma phalas will vary. But to simplify, we can say that these karmas will consist of three types. I'm talking about papa karmas. Okay. Strong papa karmas, stronger papa karmas, and strongest papa karmas. So, what is that? Comparative, superlative degrees. You can three types of karma. Simplicity's sake. I mean, there could be various shades of difference between these. So we have the free will, the power to do something about these situations which the papa karmas present us with. The first option is to do prayaschitta karmas ordained in the Shastras to reduce or even to nullify the effect of papa karmas. Such prayaschitta karmas done solely for addressing the adverse effect of papa karmas. And prayaschitta means atonement. As we say, we do something, say sorry. Simplest prayaschitta karma, saying sorry for everything. The most oft used prayaschitta karma. And since the Veda itself prescribes such karma, such prayaschitta karmas, we can take it that they will be effective subject to certain conditions. Examples of such prayaschitta karmas are daily Trikala Sandhya Vandanam, doing Sandhya Vandanam 3 times a day, daily doing Panchamahayajnas, performing Upakarmas every year, doing fire rituals like Ayushya Homam, etc. on occasions of 60th completion of 60 years, Sashtyabda Murti, or 80 odd years, Sadabhishekam. That is called Sahasra Chandra Darshanam. In fact, these rituals should be done every year on the nakshatra birthday, on the day the nakshatra birthday falls. And such prayaschitta karmas include pilgrimages, visits to specific temples, praying to specific devatas, etc. All these are included in such prayaschitta karmas. Now, next question, does that mean that by doing all these prayaschitta karmas, all the effects of papa karmas will be nullified? Now, when we use our free will to do the prayaschitta karmas, a tug of war ensues between the effect of papa karmas and the effect of prayaschitta karmas. In fact, every moment of our life, this tug of war is an ongoing affair. Tug of war between the karma phala and the free will. If the effect of the papa karmas are stronger than the effect of the prayaschitta karmas, then papa karmas will win, and vice versa. So whether the effect of papa karma will prevail or the effect of prayaschitta karma will prevail is determined by the relative strength of each. But one thing is certain, if we do not do any prayaschitta karmas, then certainly the effect of the papa karmas will have a field day and we can do nothing about it. And it is here in this context that you should now remember that I mentioned that we can categorize the papa karmas as strong, stronger, and strongest. So if the papa karma belongs to the first category, which is strong, the prayaschitta karmas will be able to more or less nullify the effect. If the papa karmas belong to the middle category of being stronger, then the prayaschitta karmas will be able to mitigate the effect, though it may not be able to neutralize them. However, if the papa karmas are strongest, what we call prabala prarabdha karma, even prayaschitta karmas will have very little effect, and one cannot escape the adverse effect of such papa karmas. In such cases, prayers, etc., may not be of much help. But since we do not know the relative strengths of the papa karmas, the best course is to continue doing the prayaschitta karmas. And then whatever happens, accept it with the karma yoga attitude, with prasada buddhi. In fact, Swami Paramarthananda ji gives a very good comparative example to understand this. He says this is similar to 3 types of ailments. If we have a headache or a stomach pain, etc., we take some tablets, aspirin or paracetamol, etc., and get relief. This is the first category where prashchitta karma are able to remove the effects of papa karmas. The second category is like suffering from diabetes or hypertension, etc., which is a lifestyle related disease. There, even though we may not be able to cure these diseases, their adverse effects can be by and large kept under control by medication, physical activity, diet control, etc. What I am doing right now. One can live long with such measures. However, if the disease belongs to the strongest category, like cancer, etc., all treatments can only postpone the inevitable but cannot prevent the effect. We have to resignedly accept the effect of such strongest papa karmas. So these are the aspects of the aspects of the prayers where we pray for ourselves in relation to kamya karmas and prayaschitta karmas, which is meant to alleviate the effect of our own past papa karmas. Now let us understand the situation in relation to when we pray for others. Coming to Girish ji's question. For example, if someone is sick or someone is very poor and is struggling for even 2 meals a day, they may be faced with such situations due to their effect of the papa karmas. And they may not also be in a position or have the willingness to perform the prayaschitta karmas. Ability to perform prayaschitta karmas. But we are not concerned with all that. We don't tell them that you deserve your suffering because you are papa karmas of the past. Our compassion takes over. And we pray for either nullification of the effect of the papa karmas or at least for the improvement in their present circumstances. In all these, we do not have any personal agenda. And in this case also, our prayers will have effect similar to what we have discussed about praying for ourselves. The relative strength of the papa karmas and the relative strength of our prayers will determine the outcome. So this is one benefit of such prayers. In many cases, the prayers help and the people are, their suffering is, mitigated to a large extent. However, there is a very important aspect of such prayers which we should note. When such prayers are offered as nishkama karma, it will give us one great benefit from the spiritual standpoint. Because it is nishkama, it forms a part of karma yoga, it will result in chitta shuddhi and keep clearing our path in the spiritual journey. And the simplest prayer which we can offer every day is Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. And such prayers will expand our mind, will help us in diluting our ahankara and mamakara. Our raga dveshas will also get diluted. And this applies to all the reaching out karmas like charity, donations for a noble cause, poor feeding, free teaching. I mean, there are so many reaching out karmas one can do. I know of a person, who used to visit the temple in the evening, and there was a hospital nearby. He will take the temple prasada, like vibhuti or kumkum, go around each patient in that hospital and offer them the kumkum, the prasad, the kumkum vibhuti prasad. Such a noble act. He has gone to the temple not to pray for himself, but to pray for all the patients in the hospital for them to get well. And he is distributing the prasada to those people also rather. What a noble act. So this praying for others, which is done without expecting any personal benefit in terms of money, name, fame, etc., And therefore, the prayers offered for the benefit of others as Nishkama Karma has twin benefits. One is that the effect of the Papa Karmas can be nullified. I mean, the other people, right? I mean, for whom you are praying. Nullified or mitigated depending upon the relative strength of the karmas. And more importantly, from the spiritual angle, such prayers will give us Chitta Shuddhi, which is a great asset for any sadhaka. So that is a very brief talk. It has taken 25 minutes, doesn't matter. Regarding prayers. Now, if you have any questions, we will take it up in the satsang. And now we will move to the 7th chapter. Okay. 7th chapter is known as Jnana Vijnana Yoga. The yoga of knowledge and realization. As we know, Bhagavad Gita consists of 18 chapters and is broadly classified into 3 sections, which I have mentioned long ago in the introduction to Gita, 3.5 years ago. I hope you all remember it. So this first section consists of the first 6 chapters. The second section consists of the 6 chapters from chapter 7 to 12. And the final section consists of the last 6 chapters from 13 to 18. And since each section contains 6 chapters, in Sanskrit it is called Shatkam. Shatkam means a group or part or section consisting of 6 members. Like Panchakam, consisting of 5 members. Dashakam, consisting of 10 members. So Shatkam consists of 6. In fact, there is a well-known work by Adi Shankaracharya called Shatkam, because it consists of only 6 verses. Adi Shankaracharya, Dashakam 10 verses, Shatkam 6 verses. He has actually, composed so many verses, so many slokas. So therefore, any group consists of 6 verses is called a Shatkam. 6 chapters. In our case, in the Gita, it has got Shatkatrayam, 3 Shatkams known as Prathama Shatkam, Madhyama Shatkam, and Charama Shatkam. Prathama means first one, Madhyama means middle, Charama means the final. And if you study the subject matter of each Shatkam, you can see certain important topics are highlighted in each Shatkam. If you study as we have done the Prathama Shatkam, you can find 3 topics highlighted. Now, if I ask you what are these 3, you may get little bit nervous. Don't worry. We have already discussed this before, but I will remind you. Then Madhyama Shatkam also has got 3 prominent topics. Similarly, Charama Shatkam has also got 3 prominent topics. So what are the topics of Prathama Shatkam? The topics are number 1, Jiva Swarupam, the nature of the individual. In fact, this was discussed in almost every chapter in the Prathama Shatkam. 2nd chapter, 3rd chapter, 4th chapter, 5th chapter, all of them. Nature of the individual was pointed out. It was discussed. It was said that the individual is not the body. The individual is not even the mind or sense organs. The essential nature of the individual is Chaitanyam. which is contained within the body-mind container. Thus, the body and mind are presented as containers, the superficial cabinet. And within the body-mind cabinet is the real individual known as Sachidananda Atma. And this Sachidananda Atma was brilliantly discussed in the second chapter, verses 12 to 25. Then in the third chapter, Panchakosha Viveka was done. Indriyani paranyahu, indriyebhyah param manah, manasastu para buddhihi, yo buddhe paratastu sah. If you remember Panchakosha Viveka, this sloka very beautifully says which is higher, which is higher, which is higher. Then in the fourth chapter also, the Chaitanya Atma was pointed out as Akarta Abhokta. In the fifth chapter, we saw Navadware Pure Dehi Naiva Kurvanna Karayan. Consciousness is the essential nature of the individual, which does not do any action. So, this Sachidananda Atma, which is Jiva Swarupam, was one of the topics which was there throughout the Pratama Shatkam, the first 6 chapters. Then the second prominent topic that we found in the Pratama Shatkam is Karma Yoga as a very important spiritual sadhana. In fact, it is the first stage of spiritual sadhana. And Karma Yoga was talked about in the second chapter. The well-known sloka, Karmanyevadikar Haste. The oft repeated sloka comes from the second chapter. Then the entire third chapter was dedicated to discussion on Karma Yoga. Similarly, in the fifth chapter also, Brahmanya dhaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yah lipyate na sapapena padmapatramivambhasa. All beautiful Karma Yoga slokas. Lipyate na sapapena, that fellow doesn't get attached to papas. When a person does karma, sangam tyaktva, without any attachment, when he does. So in the fifth chapter also we had this sloka. In fact, those who are really, deep into this learning, you can do a homework. What are the Karma Yoga slokas in the first 6 chapters? What are the Jiva Swarupa topics or verses in the 6 chapters? But these are all part and parcel of Nididhyasanam. You don't need to necessarily practice Nididhyasanam only after Shravanam Mananam is over. As even you do Shravanam, you can continue recalling what is Nididhyasanam. It's only revision of what you have learned. Don't we do it when we were in school and college? Whole year we will study. We'll make notes. Before the examination, we will revise what we have studied. So these are all things that a sadhaka should find time and inclination to practice. Similarly, in the 6th chapter also, the very beginning was Karma Yoga. Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karoti yah sa sannyasi cha yogi cha na nirna chakriyah. And what is the definition of Karma Yoga? We have seen proper action plus proper attitude is Karma Yoga. Thus, Karma Yoga is the second highlighted topic in the Pratama Shatkam, consisting of 6 chapters. So, Jiva Swarupam, first topic, Karma Yoga, second topic. Then the Third topic, which was highlighted throughout the first 6 chapters, is the importance of the individual effort, the individual initiative, tapping the free will, which is very important because there is a very big misconception that karma theory of Hinduism is fatalism. Many people misunderstand the law of karma as fatalism. That our purva karma has already decided our life. Everything is written already in the forehead. Lalata likita rekha parimarjanam na shakyate. That is what they say. We can't erase what is written in our lalata, in our forehead. And therefore, many people misinterpret Hinduism as a fatalistic religion. And they go one step further. They say India is lagging behind because of the fatalism of Hinduism. A very unfortunate accusation. And many of these accusations have got political agenda also. Let me also highlight that. So we have to very carefully note that Hinduism and law of karma does not mean fatalism. The law of karma says that the present is the result of the past. If that is true, then the future is the result of the present action that you choose to do. And therefore, even if you are not able to take care of the past, you have an opportunity to take care of your future. You are responsible for your future. All the four destinations of life, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, all four destinations are called purushartha, which mean goals chosen by human beings, not goals determined by some despotic god sitting above the clouds. No. God does not decide your future. You have to choose your goal, work, and accomplish. And Krishna emphasized that by saying, Uddharet Atmana Atmanam. You have to lift yourself by yourself. God does not say, I am going to be an irresponsible spectator. God says, I am willing to assist you, but you have to take the initiative. Thus, the role of free will, the role of individual choice and effort has been highlighted throughout the Prathama Shatkam. Even the well-known Karmanyevadhikaraste indicates free will only. Adhikara means what? The right of a human being, power of a human being. You have the right, you have the power to choose the course of action. And if you have a right to choose the course of action, certainly you are contributing to the result also. By choosing the action, you may not totally determine the result, but you are heavily contributing to the result. And that is why we have got the well-known sayings like, watch your thoughts, it will become your words and actions. Watch your words and actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. And therefore, destiny is not decided by anything other than your character, which is decided by habit, which is decided by your words and action, and which are decided by your thoughts. And therefore, watch your thoughts. Direct your thoughts. And by directing your thoughts in the present, you are ultimately determining your destiny. And therefore, the third topic highlighted is the role of individual effort. In Sanskrit, it is called Purusha Prayatna. Thus, Jiva Swarupam, Karma Yoga, and Purusha Prayatna, these three topics are highlighted in the Prathama Shatkam, which we have just completed in the last class. and we have seen the summary also. Excuse me. Now we are at the doorstep of Madhyama Shatkam. And if you study the Madhyama Shatkam, the middle section from 7 to 12 chapters, here also 3 topics are highlighted. And like a mala, they are strung on a thread. Sutre Manigana Iva. Sutra means a thread. And Sutre Manigana means gems. So the 3 topics are strung like clusters of gems on a thread. So you will find the 3-stringed strand or 3-stranded string, whichever way you want to say, inherent in the Madhyama Shatkam. And what are these 3 topics? Just as Jiva Swarupam was highlighted in the Prathama Shatkam, in the Madhyama Shatkam, Ishvara Swarupam will be highlighted, the nature of God. So while the Jiva Swarupam is nothing but the microcosm, Ishvara Swarupam represents the macrocosm. If Jiva Swarupam is Vyashti, Ishvara Swarupam is Samashti. Therefore, throughout the 6 chapters of the Madhyama Shatkam, Krishna talks about definition of God, nature of God, function of God, glory of God, everything about God only. Whereas in the first 6 chapters, we do not find much of Ishvara. Not that it is totally absent. You can find them here and there, but it is not discussed much. So with this awareness, you go back and read the 6 chapters, you will find that God is not there very much. Whereas in the 7th chapter, right from the first verse, God dominates the teaching. Therefore, Ishvara Swarupam. And while discussing the Jiva Swarupam, we saw the container and contained aspect. The body-mind complex is the container, the cabinet, but the essential Jiva is Sachidananda Atma, we said. Similarly, for Ishvara also, we have got 2 separate aspects. The container, the superficial aspect of God, and then the essential inner nature of God. Deha and Dehi, Shariram and Shariri, Anatma and Atma. So just as Jiva is a mixture of Anatma and Atma, Ishvara is also a mixture of both Saguna Nirguna Swarupam, Jada Chetana Swarupam. We will discuss all these things. This is all just sort of a laying the foundation, as they call. So Ishvara Swarupam is topic number 1. Then the second topic is the sadhana of upasana. In the Prathama Shatkam, Karma Yoga sadhana is highlighted, whereas in the Madhyama Shatkam, upasana sadhana is highlighted. Upasana means what? Meditation. Meditation on God, Ishvara Dhyanam. While Karma Yoga is Sharira Pradhana, physical body is active in Karma Yoga, whereas in Upasana, it is Mana Pradhana. We are gradually moving from grosser instrument to subtler instrument, from body, physical body, to mind. In Karma Yoga, we are heavily active serving the society, contributing through Panchamahayajnas, etc. Whereas in Upasana, you learn to withdraw and focus. So Saguna Ishvara Dhyanam Upasana This is the second topic of Madhyama Shatkam. Then what is the third topic highlighted in the Madhyama Shatkam? That topic is the grace of God as an important item or factor in the spiritual growth of an individual. Ishvara Anugraha and Ishvara Kripa. While in the Prathama Shatkam, the highlight was upon individual effort, in Madhyama Shatkam, Krishna gives a warning. Do not think by your effort alone you can accomplish everything. Do not be arrogant. Be confident, but do not be overconfident. So when we highlight the prayatna aspect, we say that diffidence is not correct. But at the same time, we say overconfidence is also not correct. So neither diffidence nor overconfidence, but just plain confidence. Overconfidence means the idea that I can do anything. And when a person has got that attitude, Bhagavan at the appropriate time will give a big knock. And when failures come one after the other, this person will go from one extreme to another. He will say, nothing is in my hand, everything is predestined. So why do you go from overconfidence to fatalism? Neither overconfidence is necessary nor fatalism is relevant. May you have the middle path, that I accomplish things with my effort, backed by the grace of the Bhagavan Lord. This is the balanced attitude. I accomplish things through my effort, backed by or hosted by the grace of Lord. And that is why, before every class, we start with Dhyana Stoka. What is the purpose of Dhyana Stoka? Even though I have put my effort, I have successfully come to the class, my study should continue unobstructed. And for that, I require the grace of the Lord also. And therefore, Krishna emphasizes Ishvara Anugraha. In fact, right from the first verse of the 7th chapter, Anugraha comes. Sharanagati, Anugraha Prapti, Ishvara Kripa. This is the third topic. So now, what are the three topics? Ishvara Swarupam, Ishvara Swarupam, Ishvara Upasana, and Ishvara Kripa. These are the three topics highlighted in the Madhyama Shatkam, and starting from 7th chapter that we are going to enter. The 7th chapter is a beautiful and a very comprehensive chapter, which gives the entire teaching. I think there are about 30 slokas only. In a very beautiful way, the teaching is given. So even though it's a small chapter, it's a very comprehensive and powerful chapter. With this background, we will enter the 7th chapter, first sloka. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Maya Saktamanaf Partha Yogam Yunjan Madhashraya Asamshayam Samagram Mam Yatagnasyasi Tachruno. The Anvaya of the sloka is Shri Bhagavanuvacha Mat Ashraya Yunjan Yogam Asaktamana Mayi Yatha Nyasyasi Mam Samagram Asamshayam Tachrunu He Partha. This is the Anvaya. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Lord said, Madashraya, taking refuge in me, Yunjan Yogam, and practicing yoga, Asaktamanaha, with a mind which is totally absorbed, Mayi, in me, Yata Jnasyasi, you will come to know, just as you will come to know, you can say, Mam, me, Samagram completely, Asamshayam doubtlessly, Shrunu Tat, may you listen to this, He Partha, O Arjuna. So the Lord said, taking refuge in me and practicing yoga with a mind which is totally absorbed in me, you will come to know me completely and doubtlessly. May you listen to this, O Arjuna. So the first three verses of the seventh chapter happen to be introductory verses. And Lord Krishna here points out what is the subject matter of the seventh chapter, as well as up to the 12th chapter. He says, Samagram Mam Nyasyasi. If you follow my teaching, the result will be Jnanam of my nature. Mam Nyasyasi, you will come to know me. So imparting my knowledge to you, my knowledge means here Krishna represents Bhagavan, God. So here, whenever Krishna is saying me, means Nyasyasi, Mam Nyasyasi means knowing God. Therefore, by following this and other chapters, you will get Ishvara Jnanam. And the Ishvara Jnanam is also twofold. And therefore, Krishna says, Samagram Mam Nyasyasi. You will know me completely. Because later on, Krishna is going to say that I have got a higher nature as well as a lower nature. The lower nature is the visible, physical nature of Bhagavan, like Rama Shariram, Krishna Shariram, etc., which people worship as God. In fact, majority of the devotees, when they think of God, they think only of God in a particular form, in a particular body. And that is why even in the Dhyana Sloka, Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata describes what? The physical form only. And Krishna says that visible, tangible form known as Saguna Swarupam is only my lower nature, because it is subject to arrival on Janmashtami day through Devaki, and it is subject to ascension to the Swargaloka or wherever it is after the Avatara Karyam is over. And this Saguna Swarupam is confined to a particular place and time, particular yuga. So it is time-wise limited, space-wise limited. This is my lower nature. And Krishna will call this Apara Prakriti or Saguna Swarupam. And then Krishna goes on to say, Arjuna, I have got a higher nature also, which is invisible, intangible, eternal, all-pervading nature, which is called Nirguna Swarupam, Para Prakriti. And only when you know both, Saguna and Nirguna Swarupam, finite and infinite nature of God, your Ishvara Jnanam is complete. And therefore, through this chapter, I am going to give you both Saguna Jnanam as well as Nirguna Jnanam. And therefore, Samagram Ma. Samagram means Saguna Nirguna Rupam Ma. Sopadika Nirupadika Rupam Mam Nyasyasi. You will come to know if you study the following 6 chapters. And how am I going to teach? Krishna is doing a little bit of advertising here. He says, through my teaching, you will asamshayam yasyasi. I will teach you so thoroughly. I am a very good teacher. That's what he implies. I'm not saying, Krishna himself is saying. So Krishna says, I am such a good, confident teacher that I will impart the knowledge in such a way that you will have no doubt. Asamshayam. Asamshayam for grammar students is an adverbial usage. Nyasya asamshayam, nyasasya asamshayam is an adverb for nyasyasi. So I will teach you, you will have no doubt, but then there are conditions which he will speak of. He has here just said what he will do. And then he says, I can do my job properly only when you fulfill certain conditions. What are they? Mai asakta manaha. You should have a desire to know me. If you do not have a desire, if you do not have interest, then naturally you will get bored, and therefore you will not be alert, and therefore you will not understand what is being taught. And therefore, first condition is you should have desire. And you will have desire to know only if God is your destination. Because whatever is your destination, whatever you love, you want to know more and more. That's why you need the Google map. Whenever you want to go somewhere and you want to drive, what do? You put the destination in the Google map and know how you have to go, what are all the traffic conditions, etc. So when you have Bhagavan as the destination, you will want to know more and more about Bhagavan, how to reach my destination. And therefore, Krishna presents that I or God must be the goal of that seeker. That is the second question. Now the question is, which can occur in some people's mind. Should God be the goal or moksha be the goal? Which goal should I have? All the time you have been telling moksha must be the goal, moksha must be the goal. Now tell me, now you are telling me God must be the goal. Tell me whether moksha should be the goal or God should be the goal. Our answer is God or moksha, both are identical. In the language of spirituality, we present the destination as moksha, but the very same moksha in religious language is symbolized as Bhagavan. Because what do you mean by moksha? What is the ultimate goal of every person? He wants independence, he wants security, he wants ananda, he wants peace. Therefore, peace, security, fulfillment, these are all destinations for everyone. And Bhagavan says, Bhagavan or the Lord alone represents total security because Bhagavan is infinite. Infinite alone is ever secure, isn't it? Anything finite is bound by time and space. Anything bound by time and space is subject to fluctuations and destruction. Even the stars, distant planets cannot escape destruction. They might have a very long life, but you ask the astronomers, they will say even the sun will collapse after a long time. The only saving grace is when astronomers say sometime, there sometime will be few billion years. So we are saved. But remember, stars explode. They die. They are called what? Some nova or supernova, etc. Isn't it? Which indicates that anything finite is insecure. Seeking security from finite thing is the most unintelligent approach. The only security is in the infinite, and the infinite is called in religious language Bhagavan. And the infinite is symbolized in a particular form because the infinite is abstract and the abstract infinite cannot be conceived. Therefore, the infinite is given a Krishna form, a Rama form, a Vishnu form, a Shiva form, etc. The form is not infinite, but the form symbolizes infinite. I'll stop here. More we will see in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namah Harihi Om. Dhanyavad hai everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you.
धन्यवाद गुरुजी.
Thank you,
Thank
Guruji.
you, Guru. Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes, Girish ji, question.
Hari Om Guruji.
Hari Om.
Thank you for your, the clarification regarding the prayers. Outstanding, fantastic. I believe that this question may be in everybody's mind, but that is being very well presented and clarified. Thank you so much for it. And even the other part of the session is also equally good. But having said so, actually, when you talked about the three Shatka, I have come across that it is also representing Tattvamasi, correct?
Yes. See, various acharyas give different interpretations.
Okay.
That is what it is, Tat Tvam Asi means what? Here it should be Tvam Tat Asi.
Correct.
Because first chapter is talking about Tvam. Second Shatkam is talking about Tat. Then the third one is talking about the Aikyam. That is the non-difference between Jiva and Ishvara.
Jiveshwara Aikyam. Yeah.
Then you can take it that way also. No problem.
I actually wanted to ask you about the free will and destiny. And you have touched it more or less. I mean, it has been already clarified.
Yeah.
But I think it is both are more or less same, no? Free will and destiny.
No. Free will is the tool we have got.
The means. Okay.
Tool we have got to confront the destiny.
Oh, okay.
So as I said, relative strength, if free will is stronger, the karmas that we do using our free will is stronger than the effect of the papa karma, then free will win and you will get your prayers answered. So that is what we are trying. So we can never either, underestimate the power of the destiny or power of free will. Both are like, those days we used to have some wrestling matches, between some very famous, world famous boxers, King Kong and Dara Singh, something I very vaguely remember, no? Cassius Clay and somebody, King Kong, something like that. Two very powerful people. So every match, one fellow will win, another match, another fellow will win. Similar, sometimes free will win, sometimes destiny will win. That is what happens. So we have to take it that, understand it that way.
Agree. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Very, very nice. Very nice.
Thank you. Yes, Anjali ji.
Yeah, Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
Guruji, today's class was very, very scientific. It has hit all the blind faiths. That way, it was very nice. I have two questions.
Yeah.
As far as these prayers are concerned, you said this when we pray for ourselves, it is a sakam prayer, and when we pray for others, it is a nishkam, only for when we pray for the Almighty, that is Atmagyanam, that is nishkam.
Yeah, this all comes under, see, all the nishkama karmas come under karma yoga. So whatever you do, when you are praying for others, what is your attitude? Typical karma yoga, you are offering the prayers, you are offering that to Bhagavan, with the Ishwararpana bhava.
Yes.
And then you are not going to complain if Bhagavan doesn't answer. Because suppose I say, In a hospital, there are 10 patients and you are praying equally for all of them. They should all get. Is it realistic? Will all 10 get better? Some may get better, get discharged. Some may even die. Now you cannot say, oh, I prayed, then this fellow has died. Now, how do you understand? There, we have to understand that person suffering for first was because of his own karmas. I tried my best to mitigate or the neutralize the effect of his karmas. But his karmas are so strong that my prayers were unanswered. Where there, even the God. See, suppose there is a Supreme Court. Somebody has done a big murder or something like that, and he has been sentenced to death sentence by the High Court. He goes in appeal to the Supreme Court. Now, Supreme Court will consider all the circumstances. Whether it was premeditated murder, whether it was an impulsive action or a very planned action, right? Everything they will see, and finally they will say, no, death sentence is confirmed. Or they may say, okay, we convert the death sentence into a life imprisonment. All possibilities are there. So that will all depend upon the strength of the circumstances of that convict. So similarly, like the Supreme Court Judge, Chief Justice of India will give a verdict. Bhagwan also gives a verdict. Thank you very much. You are good. You are praying for this person. Very good. But unfortunately, his karma is so strong. It is because of his own past actions that he is suffering. I can't do anything about it. That is the way. But then Bhagavan will say, because you did this, because you did it in a Nishkama attitude,
Selfless.
you are going to get a benefit which you didn't even ask for. So a Nishkama karma gives a benefit which you don't ask for, which is Chitta Shuddhi. So that is the bigger, from a spiritual, for sadhakas, spiritual seekers. That is why we must always keep on praying for others. Because a spiritual seeker should have enough vairagyam, not get into the kamya karma, quagmire. Because vairagyam, you have no desire for any materialistic, desires are not there. You have gone through artha, kama and dharma purusharthas. Completed all that. You have got only one moksha purushartha. For moksha purushartha, the essential precondition is chitta shuddhi. That chitta shuddhi you are getting by doing this karma for praying for others. You can ask for it. So that is what we have to understand, the power of prayers to be that, especially when you pray for others. So continuously pray for others. That's why I say every time you go and pray, do namaskara, this sarve bhavantu sukhina, that sloka you say, automatically, the more you say, you will start actually meaning that. You want to see everybody happy, everybody without any disease, everything. Not that it is going to happen, but that is your wish. That shows your compassion, that shows your attitude towards the entire Jagat.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Hari Om. Thank you. Any more question? No hands have gone up. So I hope I can close the session.
Sorry, I was in mute. One question. In continuation of the prayers, I'm sure you must have heard about Reiki.
Reiki.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard. I don't know much about it.
Some people do what is called distant healing with the photograph of the person, and he may be in a different station altogether, undergoing some treatment or suffering from. Then they do Reiki healing.
See, the point is, nature contains so many secrets.
Correct.
None of us are fully aware of all the secrets.
True.
So I cannot tell you whether that is effective or not effective because I don't know much about Reiki and all that. There are people who do so many different kinds of things also.
True.
But there is one thing which is there, if Reiki or whatever you do, in whatever form, if it is Nishkama, without any expecting any benefit for yourself, anything that your only idea is I should cure the other person with whatever skill or whatever knowledge I have got. If that is the attitude, then that will also is going to lead to purity of your antakarana only rather. So whether you do Reiki or whether you do any puja for anybody or any visit a temple for anybody, all these things will come under only one this thing, Nishkama Karma. And that from a sadhaka, from a spiritual angle, is the most desired outcome of any such prayers. But then if the Reiki is doing it and charging some money and for his living, then
Out
that
of
will not come under Nishkama Karma.
out of sheer goodwill, they do it, many of them.
Yeah, so if they are doing out of goodwill and with a honest, sincere feeling the other person, if I can contribute in any manner, right, to the success of the or the for the to alleviate the pain of the other person, I will do it. So we cannot dismiss anything because we don't know much about it, rather. We don't know much about it. We can take everything as long as it is Nishkama Karma. We do it with out of goodwill, out of our compassion for other jivas. That is what it is.
One more thing, Guruji. We discussed about destiny, habit, etc., etc. They are absolutely a vicious cycle, no?
Yeah, vicious cycle. Ultimately, where it ends in a character, your character.
Correct.
And then if you have good character, again, your thoughts will be good. Then your actions will be following the thoughts. It is a sort of a vicious cycle.
Like for example, the words is also part of this. If you recall, few days back only we discussed tongue is the worst enemy.
Yes.
So words are uttered by tongue only.
Yes. Yes. But how does the tongue utter the word? First, the thought comes in the mind.
Mind, exactly.
Thought gets converted into tongue, the words of the tongue.
Correct.
Words of the tongue gets converted into action. Action gets converted into your character.
That's what I said. It's a vicious cycle.
The vicious cycle, yes. But what happens is that cycle gets improved again and again and again. It's not that the first round you are able to, get the right character. But as you keep on repeating this, you become mindful of what your thoughts are. You become, and once you are mindful of your thoughts, then you will become mindful of the words that you speak.
Words you select.
Before speaking, you will think twice, right? Should I say this or not? Will it hurt the other person or not? Then once you have become very careful with your words, then automatically your action will follow suit, right? And then you will not be impelled into any action, knee-jerk reactions and all that you will avoid. The action also will be very thought out actions, whether I should do this or I should not do this. What will be the implications of all this? If I do this, what will be the pros and cons? And once all that is done, then that is what is your character is about.
Correct.
Alignment of thoughts, words, and action is what makes a person a good character, person with a good character. That's
Absolutely.
and that is what our sadhana should be. Our
Correct.
sadhana should be to keep on focusing on that, doing it again and again, as you said, cyclical process, doing it again and again.
Then it becomes refined.
The character will develop.
That's what you try to refine yourself.
Try to refine yourself, put it in a single word, totally refine yourself. It is just like, the crude and all that which is extracted, it goes through so many refinement process to become a petrol, which we can use in the vehicle. Similarly, our own character, from what it is, we have to keep on refining it through these processes and to become a refined character, a mature person.
Absolutely.
That's what it is.
Thank you very much, Guru.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Guruji,
Guruji.
one more
Hari Om.
question.
Yeah.
It is said that great saints, when they heal others, they take the sufferings of the people on themselves. Is there any logic behind this?
You tell me one thing. Suppose your
Hmm.
child is hungry.
Hmm.
You say, I will take over the hunger and I will eat the food. Let my child's hunger will be satisfied.
Not possible.
See, this is all glorification of the process of prayer, right? The fellow himself may be having a lot of papa karmas for because of which he is suffering. Now he goes on taking other people's karmas also. What will happen to that fellow? So this is all for glorification and things like that. Whatever you do, you have to suffer the consequences. Nobody else can. Even God cannot change that. God cannot transfer it to somebody else. That's all normal kind of a thing. Very emotionally people will say. In Hindi they say, "Meri umar tumhe lag jaye." I don't know whether you understand Hindi.
Yeah.
But they say, let my age be added to your age. That means what? I am prepared to die today. So you live. Is that possible? That's not possible. So that is why all these things are all done for glorification of the prayer. Underlying all these statements is a prayer. Right? That you should get well. That is what it is. You must take it in that, understand it in that respect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Guruji. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, anybody else?
Guruji, it is me, Lata.
Yes, Lataji.
Guruji, this is not there's no question, Guruji. Just my thoughts about a couple of things that were mentioned by Krishnanji about the Reiki. I had the opportunity of getting trained for Reiki therapy from one of the gurus in Bangalore. Yes, again, it is the kind of prayer that you do for a person by just to have it as a focal point. You have the picture of the visual image of the person, and you send healing thoughts. But the beautiful thing is, at the end of it, you surrender your prayers also to the nature, to the divinity, so that you're not feeling any ego that I have prayed for this person. So even that you let go. So that's a very nice part of the Reiki healing. That's what I thought. That's one thing I wanted to mention.
Yeah.
Another thing, what Krishnanji mentioned about vicious cycle. A beautiful thing about the opposite thing is that when one thing becomes positive, that leads to another positive thing.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a positive cycle.
Correct.
Which replaces the vicious cycle.
Right.
And what Anjali ji said about people taking on other people's suffering, but I think that happens as not in my experience, but what I have read from the life stories of eminent these spiritual people. Like in for Jesus also, they say he took all the suffering of his the people, and then he gave his life. And there's something similar I have heard about Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa ji also, where he suffered, he took on the sufferings of his disciples and some of the people who came to him, and then that's how that was only avatars can do that, I guess, not normal people. But that's just my thoughts I wanted to share, Guruji. But thank you for the beautiful session, Guruji. It was very nice.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hari Om.
Thank you. Hari Om, Guruji.
So can we close?
Dhanyawad.
Dhanyawad. Thank you all.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you.